The sooner you do it, the better off you'll be, like in the immediate term and in the long term and in the super long term. It'll only get better from there. Like, stop waiting. Stop pretending like, oh, you'll do it later. Like, oh, maybe next fall or whatever. Or like, oh, it's New Year's almost, January 1st, New Year, new me. It's like, no, that never works out. That never happens. You have to commit. You have to do it, and you have to do it now, because this is what you want. And you better be true to yourself. Like, you gotta respect yourself, love yourself, and this is something you've wanted, and you can just do it. Grab it. So do it and go for it. My name is Ivan Escamilla. I am from Chevy Chase, Maryland. My situation was me just living life, enjoying music, but still musicless. You could say that. No, I mean, yeah, I have a job, a couple of hobbies here and there. I like to paint, I like to play video games, obviously, but music has always been at the background of my life. I love listening to music. I'll jam with my boyfriend. We'll put on Spotify on the TV, have the lyrics up there. And I love karaoke. That's my jam. Over here is my little keyboard. And I got that quite a few years ago. All I would ever do is just play a couple of songs that I learned when I was a kid, but nothing more than that. I was unable to figure out, like, I have an idea, humming something on my day-to-day, and I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. But to put it on paper and then to make it sound good, or if I just have like this little ditty in my head, and then I'm like, okay, but where do I go with it? It's branching out of that. It's like a kind of longing, right? It's like you have something that you want to do, and you really want to do it, but for some reason, you don't know where to start. Like, that was me. I wanted to try my hand at doing something with music, writing music. You don't really know where to start. You don't know what to do. You don't know where to go. If you try and like find out or look up books that have something of like how to compose music or something, it's a little daunting because it's already throwing terms at you that you might not know, or things that you're not quite sure how to approach. And this is me coming from a little bit of a music background, right? Like, I played piano when I was a kid. I played a little bit of saxophone. I was in a marching band with my high school, but I never really composed music. I only ever played it. And so even having that and then having to find a way to write my own music, I'm like, I was scared, frankly. Like, I was like, I don't know how to do this, and I'm not quite sure where to start. It made me feel like I wasn't quite sure what to do. It made me feel, I don't know, like sad, like straight up. Like, I would call myself a bit of a creative person just because I have a lean towards the arts. But knowing that there's something I wanted to do, but not quite sure how to approach it, maybe even seeing like some barriers in the way of like all these technicalities and, know your musical theory, or you need to learn how to use these softwares. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I felt intimidated trying to approach that. And then sad because I was intimidated, because I couldn't reach the destination that I wanted to reach. Like, I couldn't actually put something to paper that I normally could with like painting or whatever. It felt a little more gate-kept, for lack of a better term, because I felt I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. It kind of dampens you. Like, I just kind of feel like, oh, like I wish I could do this. And it was a sentiment that lasted for years, like for a very long time. Like, it's been many years where I've just been kind of wanting to do something, and I just haven't really been able to do it. So I found out about Best Music Coach through a live stream. I ran into a live stream for Pokemon Red and Blue. I was like, you know what? Like, Pokemon Red, that was my first game. Let's check this out. So I did. And I found that the person there, the channel director, Dan, was breaking down all of these songs quite deeply, going into the breakdown of maybe the scales, maybe the chord progressions, maybe certain kind of like motifs and stuff, like how they pop up again, like in a way that made sense, but in a way that I also could like maybe pick up here and there, and then realize like, okay, this obviously Dan knows what he's talking about and can really break something down here. So that I stuck around and I felt like I actually learned something from that.
What has your experience been like with Best Music Coach?
I like enjoyed it to the fullest extent because not only am I starting to really pick up the pieces and understanding everything that I've been wanting to do, it's also been part of this group that I sit down with and meet on Saturdays. Those Saturday meetings are becoming the highlight of my weekend just because like, I'm meeting with like-minded people. They're not all in the same place, but we all have our own unique styles and approach to certain things. And that's kind of what's been pushing me. When I first was coming on, I saw them and I'm like, okay, if they're in this program and they're already doing this, that means I can do this. And so that's only been kind of pushing me to try and really learn everything from the courses, really learn what I can from all the templates and resources, all these guides that there's available, and trying to amass something together. And then I did. So like something just kind of fell out of me. Like I said earlier, a tune fell out of me. And so it just kind of grew. And it grew really like a lot faster than I thought it would. And it has been insane. And then at the end it worked out. And I've been ecstatic ever since. I've very much enjoyed the combination of the online course and the books. Like, I didn't see myself like, oh yeah, let's go into the workbook. Let's just go and work on everything and read over this. But I felt like I would not be doing myself a service if I wasn't doing that alongside with the lessons. So I sat down and I said, okay, I'm going to start doing this. And then the longer I did it, the more I was able to actually pick up and learn. I have a music background, but Dan insisted. I was like, no, you got to start with the basics always. Always start with the basics. And getting into that mindset with a workbook to work on, a lesson to follow, it engages you, right? Like it's making you really engaged with the material and making you engage with what you want it is to learn. So that's actually been a lot more fruitful and surprisingly joyful that I thought it would be. I had the encouragement and the support to just start putting things. And then all of a sudden, bam, I had like my first little like 4/8 measure composition. And already, I mean, that was a huge step. And I honestly, I felt like, okay, this is only like 4 to 8 measures long. But then Dan was like, this is like yours. This is like your composition that you've made. And I'm like, you're right. This is something that I've made. And you got to start small. You gotta always start small. Starting something like this takes time. And you're going to have to walk before you can run. But walking is so important.
What were your doubts and fears about joining the Gamer Music Creator Group?
It's intimidating. At least for me personally, committing to something, sticking to really putting in the time and effort, that's something to account for. And at the time, when I first applied for this, I feel like there's a lot of external factors that were kind of just floating around me, out of my control. I wasn't quite sure what to do. So that's when I thought, okay, what's something I can control? My art. But maybe now is the time to actually do something, do this thing that I've been wanting to do. And so I felt like I had the resolve to go through with it. And then I remember whenever I had my introductory call, I had a similar question posed to me. It's like, why this and why now? And that's when I realized it to myself. It's like, if not now, then when? Like, if you're so scared, which I was prior to that point, since I was so scared of like trying to commit to something or sticking to something, I wasn't going to get to where I wanted to be. So that's when I said, this is the time. If anything, now is as good a time as any to really just dive into something I really want to do. And it helped me really mold with something that I can call mine in a kind of environment where there's so much that's uncontrollable. And honestly, I needed that. I really did. My biggest doubt, I would say, is like, is this going to be worth it? Is this worth investing in? It was the confidence that Dan gave me, the kind of like this willingness of trust and a lot of encouragement during the process of when we're sitting down, and even shows me like all the music I make would be my own, not owned by Best Music Coach. I'm like, that's a very interesting concept that didn't really think about before. And frankly, I can see a lot of similar opportunities saying, okay, you're under our tutelage, but everything you do is owned by us and not you. And so I felt like I had a lot of freedom to not only try and do what I wanted to do, but then take that and then go and use it further beyond if I wanted to. So it came down to like, is this a good investment for what I want to do? I figured if any time, now's a good time. And whatever I make here, whatever happens here, it's not limited to here. I can do whatever I want with it. And it's mine. And it's mine to own and mold and shape however I want after the fact. And I feel like long term, I love planning long term. I love thinking in the long term, maybe too much, but I feel like that's something that I really needed to do. Am I now? I have a song. I have a song and it sounds amazing. And frankly, I would never have imagined my first song to be salsa inspired. It just kind of happened. So if anything, it just comes to show you never really know what's going to come out of you. I listen to like lo-fi stuff. I listen to like Pokemon stuff, Nintendo stuff, Square Enix stuff. Some of it's dramatic, some of it's simple. But I guess something deep in me, I don't know, felt particularly spicy that day. And it just kind of came out. So I've enjoyed it. I've loved everything so far. I love that I can kind of understand how my song came to be, why the structure of it works. And honestly, I'm just eager to learn more and maybe make things a little more complex, make things a little longer. But it's like a 1 minute song, and I love it. It's the 1 minute that I love to hear. Like, I don't know, like I've never thought I would have a song. And I showed it to my boyfriend, I showed it to some coworkers and some friends, and I'm like, I made this. And they were like, you made this? And I'm like, yeah. And they were like, how did you just make music? Like, I've just been like taking courses online and meeting up with a coach for like a little over a month. And they were like, a month? I'm like, yeah, can you believe that? So it's something really amazing. I actually have something that I've been wanting to do and make for so long, so many years, and I'm not going to stop here. I can like open up a laptop, I can put down some beats down and just make it work, and then add a melody, and then break down a melody into pieces, and then maybe flip some pieces around to make it sound more interesting. and then maybe copy that, and then maybe have like a newer section at the end, like something like just keep going with it. I can just like have something and then transform it into something just crazier, and that's insane. Oh, like my boyfriend's already saying like you are like in higher spirits lately. Like you've got a brighter mood. You're kind of taking like everything going on like way better than I was doing before. I'm telling my parents like, hey, look, I'm doing this thing. We'll talk about things with the family, things with just all these things going on. And then I'm like, oh wait, by the way, I'm working on a song right now. Like it's just something that I can kind of flip the script and then make it positive. And then I can just kind of like humble back to my parents a little bit or tell my coworkers, hey, like there's this really awesome channel that I've been watching and they've helped me do this thing. And it's like, what? It's insane.
What would you tell someone who is watching this right now and is unsure about taking the next step?
I would say listen to the same inner monologue that I had, which was, if not now, then when? Right? There's only so much life to live. There's only so many things you can do. I call myself young, but if I'm not doing something now, if I wasn't doing something like 8 or 9 years ago, then what's to say another 8 or 9 years won't pass before I finally decide to do something. And at that point, it'll be a little harder. I'll be a little slower. My entire circumstances might be completely different. And so if you're at a point where maybe you have a little extra time or kind of wondering what to do, I would say just do it. Like there's no contest, honestly. And I'll vouch for Dan because he's the kind of person that will be in your corner, right? But getting to actually like talk to Dan for the first time, I felt the seriousness in tone, but like the determination to really want to better myself. And now that I'm in it and I'm talking to him once a week and he's like telling me suggestions that I can make on my song, like not even once a week, but like almost however many times I ask, that's something really important in learning something. And it'll just continue to encourage you to learn that. The last thing I'll say about Dan was that recently, since I'm so new still, is that in the process of like making music and certain things and certain terms, I misunderstood something. And I feel like Dan caught on to that immediately and was like, okay, hold on. This is nothing in terms of like personal. This is strictly like me wanting to know what you wanted on the song. And it was like a strict, like, all we need to do is A in order to get B done. And it was super clear about that, super concise about it. And was like, there's nothing involving like blame or emotions or something like this. Is strictly for me to help you. And I felt helped. And I love that directness, that transparency, that frankness, that openness, the vulnerability, if you want to call it that. And I feel like that's rare. That's very rare in any kind of teacher. I've had my fair share of couple of music teachers, and I only wish that I had the kind of support. I was obviously resolved to do this because I've had so many years to try it. But I would just say to anybody that's even remotely interested, or there's people already trying to compose music and we're just looking to level up, like it's a good opportunity for everyone. Don't take it from me that I was already played a couple instruments and now I'm writing my first song. It's like this is accessible to everyone. And I feel like that's something that needs to be celebrated and taken advantage of.